Hello everyone. Welcome to today's webinar on VDR module of Resolution Engine, where I will be walking you through, how Resolution Engine's virtual data room helps IPs manage the documents securely and efficiently throughout the entire CIP process. So before we dive in, just a quick reminder. So for all your queries, we'll have a dedicated Q&A session at the end. So you can feel free to drop your questions in the chat or unmute yourselves and get them addressed. All right. So we'll start by discussing the agenda for today. So we'll first start by discussing some of the risk of not using a VDR storage, and then I will introduce the resolution engine's virtual data room module to you, followed by a live demo and of course a Q&A session at the end. So yes, starting with the risk of not using a VDR, and before there, just a short overview of what a VDR is and how it can be useful for all of you. So during the entire course of this assignment, a lot of sensitive information has to be shared via emails with various professionals involved in the case. And IPs generally use it only a particular stage where they have to share access to the PRS, that is during the EOI stage. And this is because they are not being able to use it throughout the entire course because the service providers that provide these VDR services charge a very lump sum amount for every other instance, and there are also a lot of instructions that being imposed, such as the number of pages you store on the service, the size of the file, the number of viewers that you invite to give the access, and so on and so forth. And so where things are still manual, where you have to get into the emails to collaborate with peoples and everything, digitization plays a major role in which helps you in various aspects. So one such is the VDR module, that is the VDR service. And we'll talk about it in detail, how resolution engines VDR can be used at any stage regardless of where you are in your entire 180-day CIP process. So now I'll just give you a simple example. So, you can, uh, in your entire course, you can also invite various professionals, such as the transaction auditors, your legal professionals, or even your valuers. So you just invite them to your VDR, add in the required data that they want to view, and then give them access. So that's it. They'll view the document, they'll get their job done. So all this, removes the manual sharing of things in the email, and ensuring that everything reaches to them and collaborating and everything. So yes, just to highlight that we encourage you to use the VDR not only during a particular stage where you have to share this documents with your prospective resolution applicants, but throughout the process. That will help you in great time by eliminating and helping you reduce the risk of data scatterage. So yeah, and we'll talk about it in detail as discussed. So for now, let's look at the risk. So first, data silos. So as already discussed, when documents are to be shared in different platforms, it becomes very difficult to retrieve and collaborate efficiently, because important document has to be shared in different links and different platforms. And there is always a risk whether to know latest versions is with the users, or you'll have to make sure whether the right document is with the right person, and so on and so forth. And then with this, you also lack of full control, because there's no centralized system, there's no audit of what your viewers are viewing it, and ensure this all ensures that data integrity gets complicated. And now, traditionally, people, as discussed, they use the VDR during a particular stage, because these external services are charges are very huge, and it can also impact your overall CIP cost, because if you use VDR for every other instance using a different service providers, it may affect your CIP cost. And yes, there are also other restriction as discussed, that is the limited time access, you specific time that you'll be able to access that particular document. And it all becomes to at a very last thing, that is a high cost, which can become frustrating at times. So yes, see these these are some of the challenges that makes a very strong case for you to start using the VDR at the right place. So it's not just about storing the documents, it's about having the right access, being able to use it at the right time, and it also ensures the security and helping you keep things moving smoothly without just having to wait for coordination between different professionals. So yeah, these are some of the risks, and that's where we have an integrated system, that is an integrated VDR service into resolution engine, and that helps to solve all these problems efficiently. So yes, so for all these problems, we have a centralized document management, that is a VDR document management, where you can store and organize all your documents securely in one place. And then you also have a secure access control, that is you have full control over who can access your documents and when, and you can revoke access if that particular user is not required anymore, and so on. And then everything is in front of you, that is we have audit logs and trails that ensures transparency, so you can track which particular user has what access and what time. And then lastly, security and compliance. So the resolution has this thing that it has encrypted storage with strict access controls and ensures your data is protected at all times, and that too with no additional cost. So if you're an active subscriber of resolution engine and you're running your CRP assignment on resolution engine, you can use the VDR service with no additional cost. Just set up your assignment and start using it. So I know it also has a two-factor authentication, meaning it's just not the access that you give, but the system also ensures that the user goes through a two-factor authentication in order to authenticate themselves to access that particular instance. So yes, that's pretty much an introduction of what a resolution engine's VDR module is. And then now we'll quickly jump into a live demo and see how to set up things and how things work there. So yeah, I'll shift my screen to resolution engine. So I've been logged in as this particular IP, and we have already went through all these features in our previous webinars. That is, we have seen the case summary, what a summary of case looks like, and then how to run a task throughout the entire process, and how do you process and verify your claims. And then in our previous webinar, we discussed about meetings. So now it's time to know about the virtual data room. So I'll start. Okay, the page loads and here's the screen. So for the first time when you're about to use, you'll have to set up your VDR. Basically, it's a very straightforward step. So in order to get started, you just have a link here. So you click there and the page loads. So yes, here are the simple three-step process that you have to go in order to set up your entire VDR. It's just for the one time. So once you have set up, you can start managing your documents. All right, so step one is basically, you start inviting the members that you want to give the access to, basically your PRAs or any professional, any committee members. You can use it at different instances. So basically, you'll have to add in their details. And to do that, simply click on the add button here and add in the data, the name, email. And if you've already received the NDAs before giving the access, you'll be receiving some NDAs with them, signed NDAs. So you can also upload them here. So maybe let's add some data here. So I'll add a user here to invite them to this VDR. And yeah, I'll also upload a signed NDA. And yeah, this upload is optional. So if you get it later, you can skip this thing. So once all the details are added, just hit on the add button and that's it. Your viewer is now added to the list. So once the system loads, you'll be seeing them in your table here. So yeah, that's it. So simple. So you can add as many viewers as you wish to. There's no restriction on the number of viewers or the any restrictions basically. So it's very simple. Add them here, and then yeah, you can also control the permissions anytime. So even after you have set up your assignment, you can completely take over the permissions, remove access if they wish to, and everything. And as already mentioned, they'll have to authenticate when they access this VDR, so that part will show in a bit. But for now, yeah, this is how you invite them to the VDR. Just add in the details And then step 2, adding instructions. So you'll find a pre-populated instructions template that we have already provided. So this is basically a guide on how to get started with the VDR. It has all the instructions, but if you want to personalize this with something, you can always do that. We have kept the field open, so you can do that and just hit save. And then the last thing, so step 3, you set up an access window. So basically you set up, define the duration where you want to this particular user to view this instance. That is, you start setting up a date. So let's say the access starts today, that is 27th of March, and then I want to give them access till 10th of April. So I'll just set these dates, and then yeah, that's about it. So you set up the window and you finish the setup. So now it says your VDR is set up and the invitations to whom you have invited have been sent to all your viewers. And now we can actually start using the VDR. So this is the setup is basically only for the first time. And once you have set up, you can use it as and when you need. So all right, so now your VDR is ready to use. Now let's talk about how you manage documents and track activities and control permissions and everything. So first is this storing of documents. You see this VDR documents tab. This is where you can upload all your files and organize it as you require. So it can be stored as folders and subfolders. Very straightforward and simple to how you store your documents in SharePoint or your Google Drive or your local computer. So maybe let's add some documents here. So that will give you an idea here. So I'll create a new folder here with something like legal agreements. I'll add this, and inside this folder I'll just dump in some of the documents here. So I'll say this is the legal agreement of the year 2023. So I'll just upload that, so the system will process and let me upload this file here. So once that is done, yeah, I'll add another file. Maybe I'll add an initial agreement that we had discussed. So I'll add them, the system processes and it uploads. So yeah, this is how you upload documents, and can just toggle back to the main folder that you see here. And then you can now also create another folders. Let's say if you want to add some more folder, maybe like financial, you can, if you want to store your financial statements, keep it a record and give it for the viewers, you can do that. And maybe you can also store copies of your transactions for your transaction auditors to come in and view. So yes, in this way you have all your documents in a structure in a very formatted way. And then all these documents, once you've added, will now be visible to your viewers. That is when they log in and try to access this VDR. So that's about how you add your documents. Now coming to the management part. So if you wish to, just as you wish to move things into a different folder or different file, you can even do that. So you see this menu icon on your right. So all you have to do is simply click that, and you have every action that you want to take on. So if you want to say you want to move this transaction and put it under the financial statement, so it will just have to move here and the item is successfully moved. So you can just do whatever you want to here in order to structure your video in the way you want. So yes, and I can even rename a file or a folder if I wish to. And yeah, also about the, if you think that you no longer require documents, so let's suppose I have added this particular document in this file. Say maybe I'll name it financials. So this is I've added it at a particular time, and I come back to the video, this instance, and I realize that I no longer require this document and I don't want to this for my viewers to be accessed. So what I can do is I can simply delete them. So once you delete, it all stores in your gets into your recycle bin, so you don't have to worry that it's not gone forever. So just as similar to how you have the recycle bin in your local desktops or your G drives, so you have the recycle bin on your on the top. So you can also have a view of what it looks like. If you realize you want to restore it, you can even do that. And if you want to delete it permanently, so that is even possible. So that's basically about how you manage things around in this entire document tab. So now, next up, if you're wondering that all this way we have talked about, how to view the activity of viewers, here it is. So we have the audit logs here. So this provides a complete visibility on, when the user logs in, which documents they access and when, and it even captures, all the actions that is taken by you or your support team, such as whether you have uploaded the document, whether you have accessed this, all such activities will be captured here, so you have a clear visibility over everything. So for now we are just viewing from a IP's perspective, but when I'll just shift gears and show the user's perspective so that you'll have a clear visibility. For now, yeah, this is where you can track the entire activity when the people log in, and know you have all the timestamps and everything to keep a record of. And even if your support team is managing this entire thing, you have the full authority over things, that you can take care of. And then lastly, to manage the permission and to control access of different viewers, you'll have to go to the permission and settings. And this is where you can manage things like if you want to add any uh, external viewers, meaning if you have already invited some number of peoples and you wish to add more, you can simply do that by adding the required details. And then similarly, you can also extend the access window. So if someone has requested to extend this access window by some more days, you can simply do that, meaning the earlier it was 10th of April was the access end date, and now I just switch it to 15th of April and I update it. Now all my viewers will have a 5-day access to this particular instance. So yes, that's all from the IP's end on how they can manage the VDR and can use it at different times. Now, let's take a look at from a viewer's perspective. So let's assume I'm a normal user and I'm getting invited. That is, regardless of my profession, I'm being invited to this particular instance. So the first thing that I'll see is an invite on my inbox. So this is what I'll get from resolution engine that says I have been invited to access the VDR in such and such matter. And it also says that it has all the details of who has invited me. This is by a particular IP, the name of the IP is mentioned, the case is mentioned, the case name is mentioned, and everything. And I also have a easy access to access to resolution engine. So I have a button, so once I click that, it will redirect me to the sign up page. So let's for the time being, let's assume that I'm already logged in. So this is a user account, so myself Zubia Nihar, and I've logged in as a user here. And let's assume to find my VDR, I'll have to get into the cases section that you see and then search for the case where I'm being invited. So in my case, let's take a look at the invitation. So I've been invited in the VR commodities case. So I find that in my dashboard. So I just try to open this particular assignment and it will redirect me to the required page. So we'll wait for the things to load, and it also has the permissions and security checker at every instance so that it ensures that there are no unauthorized access to any instance of the entire platform. Okay, so here we are. So we'll redirect directly to the VDR tab, and as soon as I click it, uh, the system will have the all the instructions that the IP has provided. So you see, these are the instructions that the IP has added while they were setting up their VDR instance. And now I also have a visibility of when the VDR access starts and when it ends. So if I want to extend my window, I can directly go to the IP, ask them for extending this event. But for now, yeah, it says it has all the instruction. It tells you how to proceed. Say it's in order to proceed, you'll have to enter the one-time password that you'll be receiving on your email, and then you'll have to enter that email, and yeah, and so on and so forth. So let's start proceeding. So once I do that, the system is now prompting me to enter the one-time password that has been shared at my email ID. So I'll quickly check in if I have received the one-time password. All right, so this is the one-time password that I've received. So I'll just enter that. one-time password here, and then yeah, it authenticates me in the background. So it says, let me just check. Or maybe it's a different OTP. Yes. So it says 9646. All right. So once I validate, it has authenticated me and has now giving me the entire access of the documents that the IP has invited me to view. So now the users can easily access the documents and view as they want. So once you try to open the documents, so yes, uh, I'll try to open the legal agreements, and when I try to access, it will take me to, it will load the document and I can view the documents as required. Yes, it has all the things that you require that the IP has added in, so you can access all the documents that is in the list. So that's about it, like how a user can easily access the VDR with secure and valid one-time passwords, so that yeah, IPs are assured that there are no unauthorized access to their instance. Yes, Sushant. So I think I see your hand up. You have anything to add in?
Yeah, this will be about the watermark feature.
Yes. Can you just highlight about it if you wish to?
Yeah, no, I was
This
just
is
saying
just a
that
sample
once,
document. Yeah.
yeah, of course, this is a sample document. All I was saying was that when you download a document as a user from the VDR, it is watermarked with a confidential initials on the background, as you see here, and also the details of who downloaded it, like your name as a user, which case, and at what time. So all these are watermarked and timestamped on each page of this downloaded document as a user. So it's just a security measure, and it's kind of a deterrent that prevents the user from sharing it across, so that um, it is known what the source of this document is.
Right. Right. Yeah. Thanks, Sushant, for highlighting this. Right. So as discussed, security is secure. Use IPs don't have to worry about the security features. So we have checkers everywhere. And then yeah, now let's shift back to the IP side of it. So as I've mentioned, so the audit log shows the entire activity, as in we see this particular user has logged in into the VDR and they have tried accessing document and at what time and what date and what time. So it has the entire record of what a IP wants to view. So this way the IP has a clear record of all the activities, ensuring transparency and full control over the entire VDR. So yes, I think that that was about it. That wraps up our today's demo on how resolution engine helps IPs manage the documents securely and at various instances. So there's no restrictions, no additional cost involved. Pretty straightforward setup and easy to use module. Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's about it. Now it's time for the Q&A. So you can please feel free to unmute yourselves and drop in your queries if you have any.
Hello.
Yes.
One query. Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot hear you. You're not audible. Can you be more clear, please?
Am I audible now?
Yes.
So my query was, if any document is added on VDR by the RP, later on, so that notification do we get? I mean, as a PRA?
Yes, so you get notified of, all the updates that is happening in the VDR. So it does not specify the documents in it because in the end, the IP has the control over it, so they can manage it. But you get notified, like if there are any updates to it, you get a notification saying there's an important update to the VDR in such and such matter. So they can, we tell them to log in, and yeah, we ask them to pay attention to these changes or updates that the IP is making.
Okay, 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 thank you.
Yes. Any other questions? Yes. Sushant, would you like to close this call or you have anything to add in?
No, I'm good. I think thanks everyone for taking time for the VDR demo, and I think it's VDR is an important component of the entire process, and even though traditionally it has been used only during EOI stage and only for the benefit of PRAs, um, we do feel that there has to be a more engaging use in more frequent instances throughout the CIRP and other uh, processes, including liquidation and others. There's there are more use cases than just sharing sensitive documents with the PRAs. You're sharing those with transaction auditors, with valuers, with legal professionals, and so on. And with resolution engine, you're not limited to the traditional VDR controls like the number of pages a document can have, the number of users you can access, the file size, et cetera, et cetera. So you can use it more often. You can use it to share documents in a controlled environment with users beyond what you have traditionally used to. And it gives you that additional layer of security and confidence that not only are you sharing it in a secure manner and you're authenticating through a one-time password the recipient's identity, but also you're ensuring that once you have shared the document, the source of that document is imprinted on it permanently. So you're watermarking it, and you have that peace of mind that the source is imprinted on it, and uh, the requirement of NDA is not something that you would forget because the system will prompt you to to upload that NDA with the receiving party. So with all this, I just like to say thank you for taking time for joining, and we'll meet again in our next webinar.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.